Elon Musk is suing OpenAI. Oh, that's interesting. And Sam Altman, well, why is he doing that? Why is he engaging in some lawfare? Because it's a trepidatious time for him right now because, well, there's been another ruling that looks to obviously be heading towards appeals where he was denied a certain payout from making a very profitable company, but now his lawyers who voided that deal want to have a very profitable payout. It looks like a bunch of hypocrisy that's running down there, but keep that in mind for a second because hypocrisy is going to be very important to this story. But Elon's out here suing OpenAI and the guy who created it because they aren't being forthright with their intentions. Oh, really, Elon? Tesla CEO Elon Musk has sued ChatGPT maker OpenAI and its CEO Sam Altman, saying they abandoned the startup's original mission to develop artificial intelligence for the benefit of humanity and not for profit. The lawsuit filed late on Thursday in San Francisco puts the billionaire at loggerheads with the startup that he co-founded and now the face of the generative AI, partly due to the billions of dollars in funding from Microsoft. Musk alleged a breach of contract, saying Altman and co-founder Greg Brockman originally approached him to make an open source, non-profit company, but the startup established in 2015 is now focused on making money. He sought a court ruling asking OpenAI to make its research and technology available to the public and prevent the startup from using its assets, including its most advanced AI model GPT-4, for the financial gains of Microsoft or any individual. OpenAI, Microsoft, and Musk did not immediately respond to requests. Yeah, by Reuters, blah, 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 whatever. So nice that CBC, where my taxpayer dollars are going to, just does a straight rip from Reuters and posts it back on their page. Fantastic for them. Musk, who runs Tesla, yes, SpaceX, and Twitter, has on several occasions called for the regulation of AI, stepped down from OpenAI's board in 2018, and has criticized Microsoft ties with the startup. Microsoft has a very strong say and not directly controls OpenAI at this point, Musk said in his interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson in April of last year. So yeah, going after another company for not being true to their principles. Now, I said that you should go ahead and put a pin in the whole hypocrisy motif over the top of this because, okay, Elon Musk doesn't like people that aren't true to their word. Now, I want you to go and take a look at the $44 billion he spent by acquiring Twitter, rebranding it to X by saying that free speech is back on the menu, boys. No more suppression. Here to shatter the Twitter echo chamber. But I just want you, because I got some questions, okay? I just want to know if this is a part of the whole speech Elon Musk agenda. I just have to know. X says it will reduce the visibility of posts that purposely ignore a person's preferred pronouns. Yeah, X has appeared to be returning to old Twitter's controversial misgendering ideas, this time shadow banning instead of account suspension. What'll start out as shadow banning will eventually turn into account suspending. You better believe it. For some reason, oh no, I think it's a very obvious reason, Elon Musk will continue to bang the drum about open, honest communication. We need free speech. But then there's a reason that he hired the lackey Linda Yaccarino, who will just go ahead and whisper sweet nothings in the advertiser's ears and just reinstitute all of those, as I quote, lawful but awful type regulation on the platform, draft up an entire set of regulations for the benefit of one specific religious sect. I don't need to mention who it is because you already know who it is. If you don't believe me, well, who did Elon Musk take a tour with and where did he go and visit in order to get re-educated? Very interesting, right? For some reason, yes, X has started enforcing revised rules detailing in its platform guidelines for users, among other things, adding a section to the abuse and harassment that concerns the use of pronouns and speech referring to the persons transitioning. The amended rules came into force at some point between January 24th and 27th of this year, and should an X user be found to purposefully address another user or another using a pronoun different than what the user has chosen for themselves, they can expect to be, and then ostensibly already are, punished by having their post visibility on the platform reduced. Very, very disgusting. It's not entirely clear if this constitutes straightforward shadow banning, if the supposed guidelines, violator is immediately notified of this, yes, but given the nebulous nature of the attempt to determine if someone is doing this purposefully, the revised rules spell out that those addressed using the wrong pronouns will be consulted. Yeah, that's very interesting, because I'd imagine that this probably happened a fair few times, and given the fact that it took place between 24th and 27th of January, and we're just finding this out in early March, I would imagine that this is probably some background stuff that Twitter was doing a lot back when it was Twitter prior to the Elon Musk acquisition, but now, all of a sudden, now it's just happening without anybody being notified. I've said some spicy things before, nothing that really has like swear words or anything over the top of it in some of my posts, and I've been notified that this violates certain things and it's going to be put in reduced visibility. Absolutely ridiculous. A lot of the times, nothing was terribly above board. A couple of the times I did use shorthands for transmission, but was it directed at anybody? No. Was it a turn of phrase? Absolutely. But did it matter to Twitter? X? Hell no. But here's their specific position on this, as provided to you by their terms of service: use of prior names and pronouns. We will reduce the visibility of posts that purposefully use different pronouns to address somebody other than what the person uses for themselves, or that use a previous name of someone no longer goes as part of their transition. Given the complexity of determining whether such violation has occurred, we must always hear from the target to determine if a violation has occurred. Great. So this is also expanding the reach of your censorship cabal. I thought you got rid of that division, but now you're just outsourcing it once again to all the freaks that ruin the platform that made it ripe for acquiring to begin with. Good stuff. Some see this as a slow return to the policies and general trends in content moderation censorship that once blossomed so wildly on Twitter. Exactly. What is undeniable is the abuse and harassment guidelines now go into the pronouns of it all, although they were not mentioned in the June 2023 version. But now they feature a section in under insults. Interesting. January 2024 version includes subtitle use of prior names and pronouns. We already read through all of that. It seems that X has decided to extend a lot of time and energy, and no doubt money, in order to make this work. It remains to be seen, and evidence so far from users to be heard about how the whole thing works or doesn't. But meantime, X looks dead set to torment itself and its users by trying to figure out what is done on purpose, what is accidental, and what might be thoughtless or just lightheaded. Yeah, exactly. But the fact that this has happened so obviously covert, and people have to go months after the fact, because this all happened January 24th to 27th, and here we are. Whenever you're watching this specific video, or whenever you became aware of this information, the fact that it's just happening in the background, what else are they doing? Because we're seeing, the very curated, very wholesome, very corporate approved trending topics that are out there. There's at least, I got to give them credit where credit is due. They are putting the tweet counts underneath some of the specific topics, but when you see something that has like 80,000, 90,000, 100,000, a million different tweets on it, that makes sense that it's trending. But then when there's something underneath of that and it has a couple hundred tweets on it, like a 2,600 tweets or something like that, doesn't really make sense why that would be specifically highlighted, and especially when it's such a niche topic. And then when it comes to recommended users that are consulting, or rather expressing their opinions on a certain topic, you got to start to wonder who's getting preferential treatment when it comes to visibility, and then who is also getting downregulated, and on what metrics are they using this. Okay, is it priority for specific users? Because we can obviously see whenever you buy your check mark, you get preferential treatment and preferential placing on the responses to certain topics. But what about for just, standard people that are out there? Are they also getting consulted as users of the platform? Because you are still being marketed to, you are still being the direct end user for all of the advertisements that are on the platform. So is there a say for them that's out there? Or is this just, as it's been pointed pointed out, as it's been pointed out by Reclaim the Net and so many other people that are out there, is this just a soft backtrack into the same old censorious policies that led to the slow and unimpeded death march that Twitter was under prior to Elon Musk? Is this also saying more about Elon Musk, that he's got to the point where he just really doesn't care all that much about the platform anymore? This was just another novelty purchase by a billionaire who's like, oh, it'd be fun to own a big part of social media. Now you can just kind of get rid of it because the bloom has fallen off the rose. It has caused more problems than it has created solutions for him. He's had to travel across the world and, put on the hat and kiss the wall in order to, get back into certain people's good graces. And maybe all of that stuff is just becoming way too difficult, way too much problems for him. So now you can just outsource that to people that don't have that same type of convictions that he espouses. But maybe this was all set up a long time ago. Maybe this was always his plan, but we don't know for sure. But if things start to take another step forward, I already don't like this policy. There's another big reason why I don't want to use X and don't really like to use social media anymore. I'd rather just communicate directly via videos, because that's just far more it's far more cohesive to my type of communication style. But my secondary outreach mechanism, Twitter, X, I see stuff like this and it makes me want to, try to outsource and go in other places. But Meta, if you think that the Meta alternative's better, oh my God, I got news for you, you stupid. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.